Good day everyone and welcome to Exile News, the weekly show that brings you all the important news and informations on Path of Exile. And the first news this week has been the new technical patch, the 3.11.2, which GGG actually told us about last week, because the big point is the fact that we have to do a full re-download of the whole client. Spoilers, that's 23 and some more gigabytes. And that is a lot, so for some people it might be a matter of minutes, for some like me it's a matter of days, or rather nights, where I just leave the PC downloading, because my internet is not that good, and hopefully that's not too much of the player base, because it's really annoying to have to download a huge thing. Thankfully, even if you stop it or just quit from the download, it will restart from where it left, so you can do it in different chunks, and that's working really nicely. The other thing is that this patch is, well, a technical thing, so it should improve a lot of stuff. For example, you should have faster patchings on the standalone clients, and also on Steam it should be much more faster, because you do not have to download the GGPK file every single time, so much better there. There should be improvements in the preloading of the assets, and the texture quality has been improved as well, since they've all been re-exported, and they've just found a way into this patch as well as the audio, which has been re-exported, since they had to do a re-download, so might as well fix some audio issues as well. And there should be some engine improvements, including DirectX and Vulkan, although that might not be for everyone. Of course, there are going to be people that have more problem than before with Vulkan and with DirectX, because that's just the nature of technical improvements. Some people will not have actual improvements and will do worse, but we should trust that GGG fixes, or at least tries its best to, before the patch. So why now? Obviously because it's 1 week before the big Heist launch day, and GGG wants to fix everything possible beforehand and not just launch this patch with the Heist launch, because that will create a lot of chaos and just kill their numbers for the launch day, which is not a good thing. Also, the Mac version is coming, of course, with the update, but there should be testing for it right before it, and well, it should be coming this week, if it's coming anyway. And the same thing is gonna be for the Epic Game version store, which should just be like the standalone client. I don't see any reason to use this one, but again, who cares? And then we got some more details about the area control spells that GGG is trying this league, and we got Void Spear, which actually looks really amazing. It's basically this sphere that pulses, trying to pull enemies within it, and except unique enemies, they are all gonna be pulled, and it deals chaos and physical damage, and it sucks the corpse, making it disappear. Its skill has a long cooldown, so yeah, second wind support is definitely a good thing, and you can choose to have something else to support it as well, or just use it for some general crowd control in there. There's also Frost Shield, which basically creates an icy dome, which is this one in the video. Of course, you can check the video to see all the skills in action. But anyway, the Frost Shield will create a dome, protecting you from a lot of the damage if the monster is outside. If the monster is inside, they're gonna be chilled and still doing a little bit less damage, also providing added base critical strike chance. And well, it's actual base critical strike chance, which might make any skill work. With critical, still have to see how that goes, but if it's actually base critical strike chance, that's gonna be so broken. But anyway, Sigil of Power is basically a circle. It's more offensive rather than the Frost Shield, and adds additional lightning damage to you and allies standing within it. And the cost of your skill is slightly increased, so the point is, the more mana you spend in there, the circle powers up and then grants even more additional lightning damage. And also, if you get the full power up, the enemies will deal less damage, the enemies that are actually within it though, so you have to be really close to the bosses, which in many cases might not be a good thing. I wonder if you can stack a Frost Shield and a Sigil of Power. That would be completely bonkers for some crit lightning builds. We'll see though. Flame Wall, we've already seen in the previous week. It's pretty cool, although I don't really like the visuals, but it's definitely gonna work out really fine. Also, quick talk about the curses. So curses now have been divided into two types: hexes, which are basically the previous way the curses works, and marks, which apply to a single target. So I guess I'm gonna be much better at bossing right now. So the marks are of course Warlord Mark, Poacher, Assassin, and the new Sniper marks, which is basically the reworked projectile weakness. All the other curses just are hexes, and well, they work as they usually do, except there is a new doom mechanic that we already seen. So they gain intensity, they just are stronger over time the more they stay on the monster, of course up to a maximum, otherwise it will be broken. There's also of course new skills that can work with these different types of curses, and first up is the Doom Blast or Impending Doom. Basically, when the hex is removed from the enemy, there is an explosion that deals chaos damage, and of course it's stronger the more doom the supported hex built up before expiring, and it's gonna be a nice way of clearing if the explosion is strong enough. Otherwise, I don't know about that. But anyway, there's the X Blast, which basically consumes an egg over an enemy and creates a blast around it. And well, it's kind of similar to Impending Doom, so I don't really know why they want this different thing, except the Hex Blast has some elemental themed properties, and well, I guess that's the only difference right now. I don't know. But anyway, the Punishment Curse has finally been reworked. Now it might be useful, and it's much better with a lot of builds, because it causes enemies to take increased damage when they are on low life, and then they explode for a percentage of your overkill damage. So you get them on low life, you kill them really hard, and then they explode really hard. Should definitely work really nice with slow, hard-hitting weapons, but I mean, we'll see how that goes. Sniper Mark is still to be revealed, and a thing about marks, since they are made to be basically played on bosses, the curse penalty that is found on many bosses does not apply to marks and only applies to hexes, making marks actually really good for bossing. Other than that, we got even the new spells, reworks, and well, Blazing Salvo, which some people describe it as mortar, but it's basically a barrage of magic missiles, except it's a fire one. It looks much better than it sounded, to be honest, by the description. You can check the video below to get an idea of how that works. Rewarding clever positioning, to be honest, is just gonna reward spamming the skill, just like any other skill in the game. Crackling Lens, it's really cool. It starts out very wide, not even a beam, just like lightning tendrils meets arc something kind of thing, and then it has built-in intensity, so the more you cast it, the less range it has on the side, but it gets a very thin but strong and fast laser beam basically, which looks incredibly good, and it already has a huge player base or fan base, I guess, since you can't play it yet. Intensity has been reworked, and the maze maximum intensity is 3 now, and it has increased all the bonuses to compensate. That is made so that you can actually gain or lose intensity much quicker, and you can have your game flow go much faster than just the way it was before. There's also a new pinpoint support, which basically reduces the number of projectiles which each stacks of intensity, but it makes it deal a lot more damage, so it's actually pretty cool. And you can see the video below. Of course, you don't know the statistics, but the video below kind of shows really well how effective this pinpoint support can be. The Firestorm has been reworked again. I mean, it's a bit sad to see the old Firestorm go, but now it's much cooler. It's level 28 skill instead of 12, and well, it drops this huge meteor first thing into the ground, and then smaller meteors follow. So this rewards also casting more powerful Firestorms instead of just casting 1,000 of weaker Firestorms. There's also a cap on how many you can have, so don't just try to trigger the skill. You can also try to trigger Ice Storm instead, which has still a cap, but it has much higher than the Firestorm. Also has been reworked, as in visually updated to modernize the skill, so that's probably really cool. Discharge has also been kind of reworked, so basically to make it a bit more accessible, the base damage has almost been tripled, which is absolutely bonkers, and the area of effect scales significantly with the number of charges consumed. However, it has a short cooldown now, so triggering it won't be that good, though you can trigger it because there's going to be a new threshold jewel, reducing the cooldown by a lot, although of course coming with a damage penalty and an area of effect penalty. So you can choose your playstyle, and I can definitely see it as a new Ignite Discharge build, even though it's probably gonna be kinda, I don't know, slow to play. Classic Cascade has also been kinda changed a little bit, so the skill now has inherent knockback, fixed cascade spread, and final burst of this cascade deals more damage in a larger area. And well, you can use the knockback from the cascade to push enemies away, and then position carefully and all the kind of stuff, but let's be honest, as much as CGG tries to make skills that reward positioning, no one gives a shit about them, because lower monsters just die one hit, blue monster and yellow basically just 2 or 3 hits. It doesn't really matter how you position. Yeah, you can try to position on bosses, but most of the time you're just trying to not get hit to death by bosses, or just not get hit at all to bosses. So yeah, I don't think the way the game is now, nothing about positioning is cared for. But I mean, hopefully with Path of Exile 2 things are gonna change a little bit, and monsters are actually gonna have some depth to them, not just be fodder to whatever skill you're using. Anyway, there's also the steal skills. We saw some of those in the previous week. And well, basically the thing is that now they work with ammo, which is provided by the Call of Steel. Call of Steel, you're gonna have this skill if you have a steel skill equipped, and it basically generates 4 shards when first used, and then generates another 4 charges every half second until you are at a maximum of 12. Also, if you impaled enemies, it will call the impales out of them, and you will gain shards as well from that. So basically you have to Call of Steel every like 1 or 2 packs depending on the skill you're using. And I don't know, it looks very cool on paper, looks really cool on visuals. I don't know, it looks really annoying to play, but still definitely check the video below, because it's very amazing and you can see the new skills by yourself, not just the descriptions. Also, Harvest is ending tomorrow on the 14th, and well, if you're still downloading the client, sucks to be you. But anyway, after that, of course, it's gonna be a week basically of downtime, which is even less than a week, and then on the 18th the new league is gonna launch. If you're on a console, the Harvest League is gonna end right before the new league starts on September 23rd. And yeah, everything about Harvest is gonna be destroyed, because seeds and all the kind of stuff is not gonna remain in the game, just like how Harvest is not gonna remain in the game. Obviously, it's way too strong, it's really clear, so it's obvious that they can't take that into the main game. No surprise there. And also, if you haven't kept an eye on the teaser page, definitely worth it. Just check out all the new things if you so want. One really interesting thing is this Divination card, which has been created by Bex, the community director. And well, it says if you look hard enough for the meaning, you will find it. And some people just took all of the text in this card, including the patch notes when running all around here, and made an anagram, finding something really cool about Krilson, master fisherman of Winding Pier fame and fish. So definitely check it out. I'll put a link in the description below, because it's way too amazing, and I just have no idea how someone could anagram all of that into the words, but it checks out, so it's definitely intentional and it's absolutely amazing. But anyway, that was the last week before the next league, so get ready for that. And yeah, I guess that was all for this week. So if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment down below. Also, if you want to remain updated every week, be sure to subscribe to my channel. So that was all. I've been your host, Giorgio, and I'll see you guys the next time.